Thank you, Gregory. That was an amazing presentation from Anna, and I'm very happy to see in real because we see every time when you get in Laval Virtual World, you can see the big building of Neoma. So that's very nice. Um, just to present myself and the presentation I'm going to do, I'm James Zopissa, the CEO of Massive Immersive, and we'll be talking about virtual worlds. I will go into detail about what Alain said because he made a great presentation of one of the tools, which is Verbella, but there are other things. And I invite you to go to the Commodal booth. You can see different kind of other virtual worlds and can works. And we're going to talk about it and how to make let's say, the key success factor to make it really work. Okay, just for a few minutes, I just present myself and the company. We're a consulting company specialized in immersive training programs using immersive technologies, like I said, virtual reality, augmented reality, but also virtual worlds. We made a shift during the pandemic situation because, as you know, it was quite difficult to do virtual reality last year, and we're very happy to be part of the big adventure of Laval Virtual 2020 in managing the auditorium. And we said, okay, as Anna said, it was something happening, and say, okay, let's shift and do something different. And that's why we decided to do something on our side. Just a big overview we're working with, like transportation company, electricity company, consulting company, banking, and I'm very happy to have also a business school here, like Pedro, and the La Banque Postale banking here. And this is the big area, and this is it about Massive Immersive. Okay. The idea is to share with you what we learned from 1 year working with virtual worlds. What are the insights? What are the tips to make it a real success? We've been using for 1 year, like around 4,000 people directly using the virtual world. At this very moment, we've got a consulting company making an onboarding for 2 days in Laval Virtual World at the same time at the Laval Virtual Europe. So this is something we'll be using on a weekly basis. That's why we saw Neoma very often, because they are at campus. We have a small area also where we'll be doing some few things, and we see each other sometimes from time to time. Okay. Let's say that the first thing that we learn is we have to be prepared. I like this quote from Maya Angelou, which is, hoping for the best, prepare for the worst, and be unsurprised by anything in between. Let's say that when you be using virtual worlds, it doesn't prevent you from organizing and preparing everything. You can make let's say, a room bigger. You can adapt an auditorium, but you have to organize everything before, like account creation, training before, which is very key. We talked about it earlier, and have engagement. So you have to prepare yourself. It's a lot of work. You say, okay, this is digital. You can do it like that. It's not true. You have to prepare everything in advance. That is key. The other thing that we learn, communication is the key. When we made our first event, we were like, okay, we have to talk with several people at the same moment. Doing what we do with the consulting company, which is our client, so Proseria. To give you an example, we have 4 communication channels. We got a WhatsApp just to discuss with the management team. We talk with them on the day and say, okay, what's happening and so on, how we can tackle every problem that we face. We've got a technical channel on Teams for the attendees to make sure that everything works, because in real time, you have to act very quickly. You have to make it work. You can't wait like for 1 hour to make it work because it starts at 9. This morning, it was like that. They were running and making it work. You have to be in direct contact with all the attendees. That was the second channel. And then we had the chat inside the virtual world. We were discussing with the people inside the world. And then our team, we were in separate area because there was a lockdown, and we had Discord. So we had 4 communication channels at the same time. So it's kind of messy. So for that, you have to be resilient. Because like an overflow of information coming at the same time, people doesn't know that they're talking, other people are asking and sending you text or whatever. It's like, okay, I have to be zen. I have to take that really into account because it can be overwhelming. And that's something that we get to use to that, because at the beginning, we had like different kind of channels, and it was talking all the way and say, okay, how can we manage all that? We have to organize how we'll be working. And so, as we said, we're talking about communication, overflow of communication. So you get to adapt because you don't know what's going to happen. And always, adaptation has to be in your blood. You have to do several things at the same time. You'll be talking, you'll be texting at the same time, checking that everything is on schedule. So it's like you'll be like Shiva. I give the example because I took a picture of myself on the first day. I got like a headset and another earphone on one of my ears. And it was like it was kind of messy. But you have to adapt to that because you don't know what's going to happen. Oh, I went too fast. Yes, that's it. And teamwork is essential, crucial. Because as I said, you get a lot of information. You cannot do all that by yourself. You get a team. You got to separate tasks. They come back with preparation, what I said earlier. We got a great team, and I'm happy to have Tristan here, which is our technical director. And it's something that we said, okay, it doesn't work if we don't work all together. Because when you get like 4 questions at the same time, you won't be answering the 4 questions at the same time. You have to say, okay, how can you dispatch this to one person, and this, and this? And this is something very important for us. Yeah, you have to stay focused. That's really interesting. Because it's always like taking the right decision at the right moment. To give you an example, we organized an event with one of our clients, La Mutuelle Générale. It was a kind of big hunt with it was 800 people in 3 different places, and there was a kind of noise because everybody was talking at the same time in the same area. Can you imagine? It was like 200 people talking at the same time inside the same area. It was so noisy. It was impossible to manage. And then we said, okay, we have to stay focused. How can we manage all of that? And that's when your team is key. Communication, preparation, team, and then you shift according to the objective of the event or the thing that you're organizing in the virtual world. Human in the middle. I like this one. I really like this one. Because every time when I'm working on the training program or whatever, it's always thinking about the human, not the technology. The person is key. You have to make the tool adapt to the users. If the users make too much effort, there's something wrong. So always keep in mind the old things about this is always keep the human in the middle. Because as I said earlier, technology is only a tool. It remains a tool. We talked earlier, Gregory said, yeah, it can be like a commodity, but it's a tool. Today, we're using virtual worlds. What we'll be using maybe next year, in the coming years, we don't know. We used to manage a lot of VR headset and technology, and it's always, don't think that it will change everything. First, you get to focus on your objective and use that as a tool. It doesn't change anything. Earlier, we talked about onboarding, about training. That's a key element. And always thinking about technology as a tool. Yeah. Remain convinced on the benefits, even when others don't. Because when you try to use virtual worlds, sometimes, I'll give you some examples. We're going to have our client, they say, I want to organize something in virtual worlds. We're thinking of doing something on a quite a large scale, but if you don't know exactly, we're going to start by 30 people. And say, yeah, but don't you want to do it directly with like 200 or 400 people? They say, no, we don't do that. We're going to start very, very small, and we stick to that. We say, okay, but there is no problem. We will be organizing this kind of events for quite a long time. I mean, we get an event like on a weekly basis, and say, yeah, just start it small. And we started like with 40 people. And it was a great success, really. They like it. And say, oh, James, that was great. Now we want to make it for 600 people in 3 months. I said, okay, let's go for that. But at the beginning, they were very scary about using this technology. They feared that people won't get engaged. But as Alain said earlier, you'll be using a game. And as soon as you'll be using your game, people will get involved about what they'll be doing instead of doing something like, let's say, boring. If you say, like, we talk about Zoom fatigue or whatever. Using virtual worlds brings some innovation, some new things really to engage people. But they thought that at the beginning it could be like a gadget. And we said, no, you can play, but you can work. You can do workshops. You can make presentation. And for this client, to give you the example, the beginning was like, okay, we're going to do something for 40 people for 2 hours. And then they said, okay, 600 people for 1 day. And it changed totally, and we make a whole range of trainings, workshops, gaming, and they really enjoyed, and in the end, they went to the beach also to see the fireworks. That's what it ends. And that was amazing. And so, when I say remain convinced on the benefits, because sometimes it's a new technology, yeah, we may face some adversity and so on, and we have to stay focused, knowing that it's an innovation, and it's not like something on mainstream. We're always developing and evolving according to that, so you have to take that into account. Yeah, last but not least, enjoy, have some fun. You know, we had so much fun creating the challenges that we made for our clients. That was amazing. We tested them. It was so funny to see them having some fun doing it. And even when we do the networking inside virtual worlds, we see people talking to each other. We even invented new ways of organizing networking, but we are just having fun by using it. So it's something really important, always having fun. Let's say the 10 commandments, more or less. I like the picture. I wanted to put it here. No. Just to remind the 10 things to keep in mind. Okay. Get prepared for anything. Prepare for anything you will be. As I said, organization, you have to keep that into mind. Communicate you will. I won't come back to the 4 communication channels or more. Today, as I said, we got a session, and people are really using 4 communication channels, different. Resilient you will be. Always take calm in any situation. Focus on the objective of the event or the training. Teamwork, your team is key. Teamwork you will do. Human-centric, you will promote, always thinking of the users, not thinking about technology. I give just a quick example about that. It's totally different to organize something for 300 millennials and 50 people who are just working as assistants or whatever. You can have to be there to help them according to what they are, according to the users. Technology as a tool, always. Fiercely convinced you will be. As I said, you have to remain linked to the benefit of the solution. Adapt you will, and fun you will have. And that's it, and thank you. Feel free, get any questions. Something was not, it was boring. It was, if you don't understand anything what I said, I don't mind. you can talk.
You can say, are you convinced?
Are you convinced? No, I didn't hear anything.
No. Okay.
Are you convinced?
Off for you.
No? Yes?
Okay, thank you, James.
Thank you.